Our next guest has a personal tie to a case like this. When John Ramsey's 6-year-old daughter, Jonbenet, disappeared on Christmas Day back in 1996, the Ramseys found a ransom note and called the police. Unfortunately, Jonbenet was found murdered in the family's basement, and her killer has not been found. John Ramsey joins us now. Thank you so much for coming on with us.
You're welcome.
What do you gather from the latest video that Savannah Guthrie's brother just released? And what do you gather from the ransom note, considering you've had experience with this?
Well, I haven't seen either, but the ransom note in our case was just somebody's fantasy. And I don't know that you can take much from it. I think that bottom line is Mrs. Guthrie was abducted, and it's a kidnapping. So whether there's a ransom note or not is irrelevant.
John, what does the family do in this situation? You know, I'm sure, I don't know how many millions they're asking for, but I'm sure they have access to that, considering that it's such a high-profile family and they have lots of high-profile friends. I'm sure they have access to that kind of money when it means someone's life is on the line. But what do? Do they pay it?
No, not unless they know that she's alive, and that's what we required. We were prepared to require that in Jonbenet's case. We had the money ready, but our plan, we were supposed to get a call, and our plan was, let me talk to my daughter, and if she's alive, we'll get the money to you and get her back. But that's, you just don't want to, particularly in this world, you just don't want to be sending money to anybody that,
because they're going to be scared if they let her go that she knows the whereabouts, she knows the voice, she knows what this person may or may not look like. So it's a really tough position for a family to be in all the way around. What's happening behind the scenes, John? What's going on behind the walls of that house, wherever the children are together?
Well, it's horrible. It's a horrible anxiety and a feeling of helplessness. What can I do? How do I get my mother back? And it's a horrible time for them. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah.
And sleep's out of the question. The poor families had to wait now 5 days. And, we thought we had to wait 24 hours because the ransom note said, we'll call you tomorrow. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't sleep. Obviously, I'm not going to go to bed. How am I going to function? And, but yet I felt like I needed to keep alert and be able to deal with whatever came my way. I really thought I could get my daughter back. I think the important thing for the family is to make sure the police are doing everything that can be done. We have 18,000 police jurisdictions in this country, and some of them are small, some of them are big, but none of them are competent in everything. And so the key is that they insist the police accept help from whoever offers it. FBI can bring in a huge amount of resources if they're asked. They have to be asked, and it sounds like they're working.
Donald Trump gave them permission. Yeah, federal agents are going to help everybody.
So that's the key. Bring in every resource you can get your hands on. Don't let ego and pride and this is my territory. That's irrelevant. That shouldn't be part of the decision-making process.
What about lie detector tests? Because I know they haven't ruled out anyone as a suspect. I'm not saying that anyone in the family might have done that or did do this, but it's always a possibility. If you watch any crime show, it's usually the family or someone that has access inside the home, someone that knows this individual and has that information. Is everyone getting a polygraph test right now? What's happening on that end behind the scenes?
No, I don't think so. I think that, to me, the key piece is the DNA. They've treated the crime scene, they've treated the house as a crime scene, which is critical. They need to scour the house thoroughly for DNA. And if they get what they believe is unidentified DNA that they can't trace, then that DNA needs to go to an outside lab, like an Othram or a Parabon, who can implement investigative genetic genealogy. That's the latest and greatest technique for solving, or at least, identifying the culprit. It's if they can do that, they've got a pretty good shot at identifying who this is. And there's no whoever did this is a psychopath and sadistic and who just a wacko. And so you can't. You can't. They don't think logically. They don't. It doesn't fit the TV mold of crime shows.
John, what is it like to be considered a suspect? I mean, these individuals, and I'm sure you can relate to this. You said lack of sleep. You're scared of anything you're going to say because you don't want your story to change if you're innocent. Do you get a lawyer? What goes through your mind when you, especially as a parent or a child, in this case, a child, to be a suspect?
We were told early on, like the next day, we got a call, kind of an anonymous call that was tell John to get the best defense attorney to get his hands on because they think he killed his daughter. That was before any evidence came in or any forensic information. It didn't matter to me. I'd lost my child and whatever, and we were, you're in shock and you can't, that didn't matter. We didn't care. I mean, we'd lost our child. That was the most horrible thing that could have happened to us.
Yeah.
So if they think I killed my daughter, well, fine, whatever. But friends knew that and insisted that we get a lawyer. And I thought, well, okay, if they think I killed my daughter, I guess I should. But we were on, I wouldn't even say we were on autopilot. We were in a just a devastated, crushed mode. And you need to listen and have friends that make decisions for you. And, but I think the most important thing that we thought the police knew what they were doing, and they didn't at all. And I think there's lots of things. It looks like this police department's doing some of the basic things that should be done, as far as I can read. But they need an advocate with the police to say, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing with the FBI? How involved is the FBI? They can bring tremendous resources to bear. If asked, they have to be asked, which is crazy. The FBI has authority in kidnapping cases, and I suppose could take this case over totally and not leave it up to the leadership of the local authorities. But they've got to engage all the resources that are out there and use them. And I think, one of the problems as a sibling in this case, you feel helpless. What do I do? How do I get my mother back? It's horrible. And yet I think that and we didn't know, we assumed the police knew what they were doing, and let's just wait. And what we should have done is really, of course, we didn't know what should be done. That we do now have a better picture of what should be done. But ask, what are you doing? How many people are working on this case? Is the FBI involved? Are they leading the case? Really make sure as best you can that the police and the authorities are doing everything they can do and not leaving it up to, well, we'll figure this out. In our case, they had our case was handled by they didn't have a homicide department, yet they turned down help from people that could have helped. That was tragic. That was the second tragedy in our case.
Wow.
It's a helpless feeling, but find out what the police are doing. What are you doing? Okay, that doesn't make sense to me. But it sounds like they're doing a lot, but I look at this Moscow, Idaho case, students murdered, and the first thing I looked at was, okay, how big a town is Moscow? 30,000 people. Wow, that's not good because it probably means they don't have a homicide department. Chief of police got we're going to manage this case. That's really not good. But he managed it. He had 40 FBI agents on site. He had the state police. He did everything he could do to bring in resources that were available to him, but he had to ask them. And that's what's really crazy.
Yeah.
System. But that's what the family can be doing is really hammering the police. What are you doing? That doesn't make sense.
Ask
are you
questions.
doing this?
Yeah.
Ask questions.
Make sure you get the best of the best. Thank you so much, John.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Sorry for
Well,
everything
thank
you've been through. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.